Wagwan everybody, today I'm at Pineapple Beach and today we'll be meeting up with the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett, widely known throughout the world as the best tourism minister of any land of any country. He's going to come have lunch with us, experience it how we do it at Jamaica Food Tours. We have a little ackee and saltfish, we're going to have pepper shrimp, and of course we'll have a little oxtail to sample. We'll also have some lobster and some fish as well. So stay tuned. We're going to just sit down with the Minister of Tourism and see what he has planned for Jamaica tourism, for the gastronomy industry especially, and just talk about our gastronomy, our food. One of a kind, one love. I believe gastronomy can be an industry in Jamaica that can provide income for people throughout Jamaica, not just people in a hotel-based system, but people far and wide in this land that we love. And I believe that it could be a force multiplier and a drive for equality where everybody has to eat, everybody loves to eat, and the best food that we have comes from right here in Jamaica. And the best Jamaican food is prepared by Jamaicans throughout this land. So I'm interested to hear what the tourism minister has to say. We'll be discussing a range of topics, but mostly I'd like to hear about the food, the gastronomy industry, where we're heading, and seeing if we can open it up so that everybody can get a chance in the tourism game and get a touch out of it. This is a sea grape. I literally grew up on this when my grandmother had a restaurant, a small little restaurant on the beach. I used to come down after school and pick these. This is found close to the shore, and on a lot of the beaches in Jamaica you can find this. This little fruit here is grown mainly in the sandy areas is where you find it, and it really pops a lot of punch and a lot of sweetness. Some of the time it's bitter, but my mother always say, boy, sometimes it's tough is sour till it's sweet. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say sometimes it's tough is sour till it's sweet. It almost tastes like it could be, it could make wine, and I've heard people actually make wine with these and different type of alcoholic beverages. We have a special guest. We have the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett, widely renowned throughout the world as the #1 tourism minister throughout any land in the world, and he's taking time out of his busy schedule to come and have some lunch with us today. Minister, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew. I think this is a statement that you have been making to the world about the quality of the Jamaica gastronomy, and you know, it's one that I think has been catching on. We're getting responses, we're getting reviews, and more importantly, we're getting visitors coming in to taste and enjoy the delectable Jamaican cuisine that are so very expertly crafted and presented by you and your team.
Thank you, Minister. And like Minister said, our flavors are inviting to the world. We are the heartbeat of the world, and people travel far and wide to come to Jamaica to taste our flavors. It's not just the reggae music, it's not just our beaches, it's everything, the whole Jamaica on a whole. Excited to have some food with him today. We have ackee and saltfish. We know you love your snapper and steamed snapper, so we have some of that. We have oxtail, we have a wide range of authentic Jamaican dishes to try.
Right, so eating our Jamaican food is our best way of saying to the world it's the best food on earth. This is God's little piece of paradise, and I believe that perhaps Jamaica was made on the 8th day of creation. that when God was finished with all his good
Save the
handiwork,
best for last.
he said, listen, what's missing? And he made Jamaica.
Paradise.
So we are a piece of paradise that is ready for you. But the bigger part of all of this is how we have become this confluence of ethnicity and cultures.
Yes, yes.
So that fusion creates, you know, this special Jamaican cuisine that we're inviting you to taste. So there's a little piece of you in everything we do because we are out of many, one people.
Crazy steam fish today. Nice and easy. Pumpkin base.
Pumpkin based steamed fish with okra in there. So you know that when a pumpkin going to sweeten up that sauce, give it a nice cook.
I don't know if you ever see this. This is squeezed to take away the rawness. Yes man, so this is the ingredients for my fish. I have some okra inside, I have pumpkin, as I said earlier, pumpkin
Yeah,
based
man.
fish. We have some Scotch bonnet pepper. We have some thyme, scallion, garlic. you name
Jamaican
it.
season, the smell of it though, man, I tell you,
That
the
is
smell
it.
have a bite where you just want to drink it like a soup.
Woo. And we have our favorite Jamaican snapper. It's red. It's going down here. The reason
Real
why I
snapper,
pour
you
them
mean?
like this, man, is because I don't want to be turning my fish, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be turning my fish.
Why is that? When it's steam, it gets soft, so you don't want it to break up.
I don't want it to break up. So I put them in headway like this. Let
Yeah,
them
man.
swimming back.
Just make them
you know?
dive right back into a
Yes,
pool of
sir.
seasoning, a ocean or a sea of seasoning.
Yes,
I wish
man.
you could smell this through the camera. I mean, I always talk about the smell and the scent of kitchens, but the flavors that are coming here, I don't know if it's because I have a pepper shrimp right here. Yeah, shake up the pot.
Yeah,
man.
Get everything, all ingredients over the fish. You notice the pores is opening.
Yeah, man. It
So-
open up right up so everything absorb right down to the bone.
Yes. So in the next another 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you have a perfect steamed fish. I don't know if you want to throw in some crackers. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
man,
want
crackers
some-
to them, man.
Yes, man. So
We are give to them just like how Jamaican
yeah.
style.
Straight.
Minister not traveling, he's home.
Right now.
And then you have the pepper shrimp right there and this pot of oxtail a bubble like soup. Some thyme in there as well.
And then we're gonna have a squeeze of lime.
Take
Away
off
the
any rawness.
from our seafood.
Yes, man. Wow. So you drop that right in. And then we have some lobster for forward.
What? So later on, we're going to give you some garlic butter lobster and lemon butter lobster. Look
Lemon.
out for that. One's gonna be amazing. We simmer it down for the next 20 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, man. Make him go and cover up and swim.
man. Straight.
You can see the bone starting to show. So the meat starting to pull away from the bone. That means that you're getting separation. The tenderness is starting to happen. Starting to cook down lovely. Just continuously basting it with the sauce, with the vegetables, and letting all of that juices go back in there. I tell you, you can drink that gravy after that. I'm pretty sure it will be something spectacular. And wait till we add some crackers to that. And what is Jamaican steamed fish without some good water crackers?
Right, that's it.
I need bamino. All you need are some good water crackers. Make it go and soak in and that sap up all of the moisture, all of the flavor of that broth, of that. I don't even want to call it a gravy, too rich to call it a gravy. Well,
Right. That's what it is.
just is what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, man. And you hear the tree knock. Every good chef knock a 3 times.
Yeah. 5-minute process and that's it. For the crackers, you don't want it too saggy. You don't want it too hard.
All right.
Okay, our first meal for today. Welcome, Minister.
Thank
Glad to
you.
have you here. Our first meal is going to be pepper shrimp, Jamaican style, with ackee and saltfish bruschetta.
Okay.
So we're bringing a new bruschetta to Jamaica with this ackee and
Ackee
So
and
it's served on
saltfish.
a breadfruit.
served on a bread.
A breadfruit.
breadfruit,
Ah.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
So
so
enjoy.
you'll explain the breadfruit
So the
base.
The breadfruit base, a lot of the history of Jamaica comes from West Africa. The ackee that we're having is West African, but the colors of Jamaica and our national dish is the ackee. The breadfruit as well is from New Guinea, was used in transportation on ship days, on slavery ships.
Yes.
And it was brought here to feed slaves as a cheap means of feeding slaves. The pepper shrimp is part of our wood and water history, coming from Jamaica, which means land of wood and water, which Jamaica was already originally known for. In St. Elizabeth, Middle Quarters, pepper shrimp region, the easy access to river streams gave us a means of providing for children to go to school, for families to eat. So the shrimp would be grown, harvested from the rivers, then carried down, packaged, easily cooked in salt water and Scotch bonnet pepper, packaged in plastic bags and served out.
And will be preserved
and would be
because of it.
preserved because of it. Yes.
But saltfish now has another history, which is from another continent. So saltfish emanates from North America, from Halifax
Right.
in New Brunswick area of British Columbia. What happens with that, again, it's related to the historic process, but not slaves as they were, but Maroons as they became. And when the Maroons War happened with the British, and the British were defeated, a part of the agreement that they had was in fact that some of the Maroons would go to Newfoundland,
Oh wow, I didn't know
to
that.
Halifax. And the trade that happened there was rum to provide warmth for the people, and in return the codfish, the salted fish, for the protein staple for the slaves and the workers of the plantation. So that's the history of saltfish. So saltfish and ackee then is a confluence of Africa and the Americas.
Wow, and is our national dish, which goes back to our out of many one people motto.
Absolutely. And this is beautiful. So here in this one dish is the demonstration of the confluence I spoke about. Because ackee from Africa, breadfruit also from New Guinea,
Yes,
and saltfish from Canada.
from Canada.
Out of many, one.
Absolutely.
So you know, this is what gastronomy does. It provides you with a story.
Yes.
That's what we do. We tell stories.
It's funny, Minister, because conceptualizing even one of the tours that we do with gastronomy, I remember going somewhere and listening to you speak, and you basically said that tourism was about stories. It's about telling stories and giving part of your culture to people that visit. I remember my grandmother even said they used to have something where visitors would come to the houses or to people's homes and have dinner with a Jamaican.
Yes. In those days, we used to have the Meet the People program, which we are going to reintroduce. And the whole thing of how Airbnb developed and the extent to which that accommodation subset has emerged and become very popular. In fact, that innovation has democratized accommodation subsector in tourism. The ownership is now spread across a wide range of stakeholders. And that has also enabled people to get a true feel of the culture of the countries they go to. Because now they could be anywhere.
Absolutely.
And enjoy everything.
Absolutely.
And they have choices. Bear in mind that people travel to fulfill their passions. You know, so what we do in Jamaica is to try to build products around their passion points.
Yes.
So you have the reasons to come to Jamaica. Any reason you want, yes, we can respond to it. And that's what the complete and ultimate destination seeks to do, to respond to the passions of people.
And I believe we've responded very well, because from all I've been reading and from I've been seeing is that from 2019 we're basically back to those numbers now and climbing.
Yeah. In fact, the good news from this is that this is the best summer that we've had, because we bettered 2019 by 5,000.
Wow.
I just got the figures, preliminary though they are, but I'm sure when they're finalized, they might even be more impressive. So we had somewhere in the region of 680,000 visitors in the summer period, and that would have been more by 5,000.
We are pretty much the #1 destination in the world right now. I've seen where we're ranked higher than Paris, other countries who are mega players in the tourism industry that Jamaica is, and Montego Bay itself.
Well, as a minister, I wouldn't want to say that as loudly as you, because, but what I can tell you is, for sure you're accurate, that Montego Bay as the #1 recovery city for tourism, and definitely in the Americas, and we're 23% of the global response, which was significantly higher than most other countries. As you know, when you have to compete with all the countries of the world, if you get 20%, you're doing great.
Very well.
Yeah, this breadfruit bruschetta is absolutely delectable, and I think it's perhaps the only place in the Caribbean where you can get a breadfruit bruschetta. So to our Italiano friends and our Mediterranean friends,
Come on down
and try something new. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Ah, beautiful.
This is the garlic sauce.
The garlic sauce, yes.
This is the lemon sauce.
Garlic lemon
Yes.
and garlic.
And
escalade.
Minister.
Minister, we spoke about 2019 and this year, but we're setting records next year, it sounds
Yes.
like, as well.
23 is now trending to make new records. Tourism remains the #1 contributor to the economy.
To our economy.
Our economy, yeah.
Gastronomy has emerged as an industry within tourism where people are really, like you said, traveling to come and sample our food. We've had many guests that said we're traveling just to the food tour here.
Yeah. In fact, 42% of the expenditure of the visitor in any destination is on food.
Wow.
42%. So if you get the food experiences right, you're likely to be taking a huge portion of that expenditure, staying right in your economy, in your local economy.
Absolutely.
Because your food is essentially the product of your own culture and creativity.
Absolutely.
And so we're excited that gastronomy is now an important part of the offerings of Jamaica.
And I've even heard you say that the tourism offers a chance to create wealth where there once was not.
Indeed.
It gives opportunity to those who just seek the opportunity within tourism. The sector itself has been maintained in such a way and been put at the forefront where you have now the pension scheme for hotel workers and tourism workers, which is unheard of. That is something that gives opportunity to the workers within the industry.
Indeed. The first in the history of tourism that there's a whole sector-wide insurance, that offers assurance to a future that saves the pain and agony of old age when you are susceptible to a pecuniary existence. And we think that if you have worked with tourism for all these years, you should be able to retire gracefully.
Absolutely.
Irrespective of who you are and where you have worked.
Absolutely.
And so this is why this is a government-inspired policy program, which, although it's private sector, it is backed by legislation.
Yes.
So we go to Parliament to enact this scheme, which means no administration can change it, no private sector company can change it. It's entrenched. It's there to give social security to the workers of the tourism industry, not a hotel,
At large.
not an attraction, but the entire tourism landscape. And that's why it is unique. We are the only country in the world that's doing it. Driving the whole question of empowering small and micro tourism enterprises. The little people in tourism who are the owners of the real experiences of tourism. The guys who own the street food, experience, and the nutraceuticals up in the deep rural, utilizing the rich biodiversity, yes. And they are the ones who the middle players draw on and magnify the value to the final consumer.
Absolutely.
And in the process, leaves very little on the table for those small guys. So we're looking at how do we change that around? How do we enable small guys to get a fair share?
I think
Because that's what it is. They've given their life. It is their creativity, It is their human resource capabilities that have generated this experience. But then they only exist as hewers of wood and drawers of water. We see something wrong with that picture. And so Jamaica has been part of a global move, to drive a consciousness that we need to bring the small and medium enterprises into the mainstream of the tourism value chain.
Absolutely. And I'm 100% behind that back, and I believe that's what we do on this channel, is head out and give authentic Jamaican experiences. Like the minister said, the food is something that you can recreate, but you cannot give the experience of being out there with the people that are making the food, that are seasoning your food, using the local spices. It goes from the market, from the farmers itself. You have the farmers from St. Elizabeth, George's Plain, Westmoreland, all the way around that we come to, and they'll buy from the local people. They prepare it locally with the local ingredients, and then they serve it to locals. But now we have the tourism sector where people are heading out to those sectors of the island, enjoying that local food, and it's contributing to many people, not just the people that you eat from, but to the farmers as well.
Absolutely. So this is defined in a lot of ways. Some people call it community tourism.
Yes.
Some people call it village tourism. But the essence of what we're saying is that the authenticity of the experience is not found in the commercial centers.
Yes.
It's right in the rural, the deep rural, where it all began, where the retentions are strong.
Yeah.
And people still hold on to these traditional ways of doing things. Yes, and this is a very important.
Come from grandmother kitchen to
Exactly.
grandmother hand on how it's done. I'm a product of that
Absolutely.
myself.
So to understand the beginnings, the etymology of these things is very important. so we can then understand its authenticity and to revel in that, because that's what you travel for. You travel for authentic experiences, and you go back with a story, a real story, a story that sometimes is unique to your own process, because most of the people who you have seen have never been there, but it does something. It piques their curiosity.
Yes, it does. And it also,
And that's good for me. Cheers. Cheers. A nice glass of coconut water. Coconut water or just plain water?
Plain water.
Plain water. Jamaican water. Yes?
Consuming.
Jamaican coconut.
Coconut jelly,
Yeah.
as we say on the tour.
Yes.
But everything that we've had so far is 100% Jamaican. The dishes that we've consumed. There's a little more oxtail over there, actually.
Yes. A little oxtail. Why don't we have just a little oxtail so the people know that even though oxtail didn't originate in Jamaica, we can have oxtail from Jamaica.
We do have oxtail from, I believe we introduced this type of oxtail, I want to say reintroduced to the world, because
Tell me where in the world you could get oxtail done the way it's done in Jamaica.
that is,
Nowhere.
you can't.
I would say nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere. Oxtail that is in New Orleans is done in a soup.
Exactly.
It's not stewed or cooked down like this, but which is why when they took the oxtail from here, the price has gone up, because we consumed it and made it what it is. A lovely piece of third cut meat is what they used to call it, or fourth or fifth cut, that we've transformed into a beautiful stew.
Indeed. And beyond that becomes a delicacy.
Yes.
Yes, because now Jamaicans enjoy that as a premium dish.
Absolutely.
You know, the premium dish for Jamaicans were rice and peas and,
Right. Yes.
and meat or chicken.
Two meat
Chicken.
or chicken.
Chicken is number one. But now oxtail is doing quite a job.
Oxtail is doing its job. Throughout the diaspora especially consumes a lot of oxtail.
And it's the way it's done.
Yes.
So you may look at it, and yes, you say it's third quarter, and we don't eat
It was.
But come to Jamaica and you'll see
you'll
how
see
third
this is
quarter
fine
can be
dining.
It's wonderful. The good oxtail,
The good oxtail, absolutely.
yeah, which is
Jamaican oxtail.
Jamaican
let's see.
oxtail, done only this way.
Wow.
Nowhere else in the world does it like this.
Nowhere else do we prepare it, stew it like
Do
this.
it like this.
Braise it pretty much.
Yes.
Is what we do.
Yummy. Absolutely yummy. And the strips of potato
Plantain.
or plantain.
Or plantain strips. The flavor of the oxtail is
In it.
what's absolutely amazing. Something that's close to the bone with the fat content that it has. When that fat renders down, and all you're left with is
And with
that
the beans.
small piece of meat
And with
broad
the beans, broad beans.
And to share a part of our culture through food. As you said, the stories that can be told through the different foods. Every bite that you have, every flavor that is infused into the meat, into the vegetable, into the rice and peas, into the ackee, tells a part of Jamaican story.
So it's really telling a story about Jamaica through food.
Absolutely, 100%.
So the story begins where? In the field?
The story begins
agricultural
in the
plots?
agricultural plots and the farms
Straight
itself.
through to the manufacturing.
In every aspect. The story begins before it even got to Jamaica. The story begins on the travel to Jamaica.
Ah,
Different foods have different ways of traveling
how
to
the
Jamaica.
origins, how did they get here? If you go to Newfoundland now, to go to St. John's, in order to be accepted, you have to be screeched. You know what it is to be
I would love
screeched?
to know. I was just about to ask.
Okay, well, it's a little ceremony in the bar, and there's a drink, which is really their rum. It's called screech. So you have to have the screech. But here is the story about the screech. The screech is really Jamaican white rum, which we sent there, watered down to a
suit
level
their
exactly.
alcoholic preference.
So that's screech. So Screech is still Jamaican.
It's still Jamaican.
Exactly, right. But you have to go to St. John's to be Screeched. You have to. But you won't be accepted in the society unless you're Screeched.
Unless you're screeched. You have to get a proper screeching.
So you know I was Screeched.
The only thing that's missing that is ours. 100% of this dish, I believe, is Jamaican jerk.
Ah.
Now that story is us. It is Jamaica. It is our people. It is our food. And it is, to me, as entrenched in our culture as reggae music itself.
Because jerk is really not a noun.
No.
It's actually a verb.
Yes, it's a verb.
But it's also an adjective.
It's Jamaica. It's everything.
So, you know, you have to come to experience the jerk.
Exactly.
So now that's a noun, right?
Right. But is it an adjective?
But we are going to jerk the pork.
That's the verb.
That's the verb.
Yes.
Yes. And that we now say that it's a terrible thing to be a jerk.
It is. And there goes the adjective.
So it's a pun on jerk as well. But come on down, you know, it's the only place in the world that you can eat a jerk.
The real jerk.
The jerk is now a sauce.
Yes. Jerk.
So it actually really is the method of preparing
It
the
is
meat.
the method of preparing, which has come from the Maroons.
So you
and
see how
the
ubiquitous that jerk thing is?
You see the story?
It's a story all over it.
All
it
over.
began, again, the Maroons. The Maroons seem to have played such a critical
vital
part in the cuisine
Yes.
of Jamaica.
The Maroons and the Tainos, which
Yeah.
I grew up knowing them as Araks.
You know, but the Indians, the East Indians, because the East Indians were the indentured servants who
Yes.
came to Jamaica after slavery, and they brought to them much of their food types and the method of cooking. So curry, for example, is brought here straight from India.
Yeah.
But Jamaica make a greater curry.
We have an absolute
You know,
amazing curry.
And not quarreling with our Indian friends. But
And
I'm only
not-
saying that they have
Come
to
on
have
down
our
and
curry.
try ours.
They have to have our curry. They have to have our curry.
It-
And then the currying of everything, goat and the
There's
goat,
no,
of course, you know,
there's
is,
no festivity, no
it's more Mediterranean, East Africa,
African as well, yes.
and North Africa.
Right.
You know,
Nigeria, the Mediterranean, as you say, different pockets throughout Morocco, North Africa, East Africa as well. The curry itself, though, the Indians actually, we said out of many one people before, but they're a huge part of our population, and as out of many one people, the curry has become significant in our gastronomy. People travel to try the curry goat, especially. We've done shows
We
with
do curries, everything. We have curry festival.
We
Did you ever put forward that one, curry festival?
No.
That we do have a celebration.
I know that there
of
is one.
curry as a food preparatory type that can be applied to any and every protein.
Yes.
In fact, whether it is from the carnivorous or the
Or the
herbivorous,
vegetarian.
or it's a straight vegetables. You know, so it's
Exactly. I
amazing.
mean, it provides a substance throughout any genre of food that you'd like.
Absolutely.
And as I tell people that visit all the time, curry is something that's served from a birth to a funeral.
Yes.
So in between that, birthdays, festivities, you name it, a goat is generally killed, and it's part of our tradition.
But what makes our curry so different and special is a particular spice called
Scotch bonnet.
Scotch bonnet.
Yes.
Scotch bonnet.
Yes.
But where's Scotch bonnet? Scotch bonnet is Jamaican.
Scotch
isn't
bonnet
it?
is ours, it's Jamaican.
Ours, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It is just like pimento.
So you really want to taste curry with a difference? Curry with a
You come on down
twist?
and come and enjoy
Yeah,
that
it's-
Scotch bonnet.
that's
That is
a
what
Scotch
I
bonnet,
love.
isn't it?
It's almost like the jerk, pimento.
Yes,
The
yes,
pimento
again,
is what is
pimento.
found here that makes it that spice. No, I believe we grow some of the best herbs and spices throughout the world.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, you know that our herbs and spices are in demand. The problem with us is we just can't produce enough.
I have a problem with that right now. I get
Yes,
calls every day. I'm inundated with calls for pimento wood, different
But
variations
we
of
think
the pimento.
technology might be helpful down the road.
Yes.
to increase our production.
And the capacity of producing.
Capacity of producing. But then we created a little technology, yes, that we call Alex.
Yes.
And Alex now is an app which connects the farmers to the hotels.
Directly. So that's it's done right there on your mobile device.
So the little farmer up in, they don't know Octembeddy, but you know Octembeddy. But think about rural, yes, Octembeddy. Can on their little speak to the procurement manager of the largest hotel in Jamaica.
Wow.
And in that process, say yes, we're ready. We can supply you with 100 kilos of fresh pepper. The price is $10 a kilo. In 10 minutes, we can be there.
Wow.
Boom, 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 done. And he says, yes, we want it. And in 2 seconds, the money is on the phone.
Access.
And in their account, and the delivery is made.
And that's how we,
Fantastic.
the use of technology to expand the horizon of not just through the tourism industry, but using the tourism industry to broaden the other markets and industries in Jamaica itself.
Linkages.
Yes.
That's a new
The linkages
big word
network.
that we have.
I like it. This is a Jamaican word, the links.
The links, yes. So we link the farmer with the hotel. We link the supplier with the buyer.
Right.
You and I know our greatest resource is the people.
The people.
The asset is
The people itself.
And it's the people. Everything we're talking about here since
It's the
we
people.
began. It's about what our people do. It's about what our people look like. It's about what people
100%.
enjoy. It's about what our people have to offer. We have spoken nothing about sugar cane.
No, we
But
have
we've
not.
talked about rum.
We've talked about rum, which is in part the sugar cane transformed into a bottle.
Yes. So, you know, it's really a wonderful place to come. Look at us this afternoon. You know. A few minutes ago, it appeared that it would be hailing.
I was telling the
And
camera
in
before you got here
in
that
seconds, the clouds have all disappeared and not a shower, and we're
Not a
having
shower.
nice sunshine, and the beach is beautiful.
the water is calm.
The water is calm.
Just paradise in itself.
Where else in the world?
Only in Jamaica.
Only in Jamaica.
Absolutely. Minister,
Yes.
thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I mean, it's an honor to sit with you, to share Jamaican food with you, and to share your vision and what you've contributed. Thank you so much for what you've done for our country and what you continue to do. Your vision and your leadership on the world stage has made many of us proud, from what you do within your own constituency when it comes to education, when it comes to factoring the people of tourism itself. The vision has never skewed. It's always been about Jamaica and the betterment for Jamaica and Jamaicans. And for that, I thank you. And I'm pretty sure most of our viewers would thank you as well.
Thank you very much. It was a very kind.
So thank you to the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, Tourism Minister, for taking time out of his busy schedule to sit down with us, speak about gastronomy, taught me some stuff about some of the food history, the maroons in New Brunswick, and a variety of other stuff that we went over, but just a really nice experience to sit down and hear what he has planned for Jamaica, our gastronomy industry, how tourism has contributed so much to the island, to the GDP, to the overall sustainability of Jamaica, and hopefully we'll go out and experience some more foods throughout this land we love, but to know that what we're doing is being recognized and that the people itself that we go and we see can get a direct impact or some sort of love from outside, from tourism visiting the places that we go to, is really amazing and something that's truly dear to me. And I encourage everybody, get up, get out, enjoy your local cuisine, go big up your local chef, your local restaurant, your cook shop, anywhere you go to find food. And until next time, bless up.